have my own personal prediction. Some of my predictions are, I do think that interest rates is going to go down, but not by a lot, right? But based on my own experience and what I've seen and the people I've spoken to, I don't think interest rates is gonna go as low as people are expecting. They would probably drop it, maybe not in January, not in February, maybe around, I'm thinking April, May. And the reason it's the best time to sell properties for a lot of people that are trying to sell right now is to wait until maybe first week of March, because once the snow starts to melt, a lot of people are interested in buying house at that time. You know, they start to come out, and you know, people have settled from Christmas and holidays and all of that, so they start to settle, so they are ready to start looking to buy properties. So significantly prices go up, and the number of activities we have on the market will go up by March. Now, if the Bank of Canada reduce interest rates at that time, it's going to put even more pressure. At least that's what I'm thinking. I don't think they should do it that time. I think they should wait a little bit. So that's my prediction, because I'm hoping those people are smart. What else? So it would go down by maybe 25 bips, 0.25, and then maybe 2 more times before the end of the year. That's my own personal prediction. So now, as a result of that, it's going to give a little bit of release the pressure for some people, and because of that, people are going to buy more properties. I also think that based on that, let me actually see my slides, because a lot of you guys unfortunately missed my last webinar, and I didn't record it as well. So let me go to my predictions just so I can share some of it with you guys. Somebody has a question for me. How does one know when those kind of houses are available? The ones where the owners can't afford them anymore. Okay, so in Canada, we do not have a database to know which houses are unaffordable, or which clients or which people are having difficulty and having pressure. Sometimes some of them will message me personally and say, Deborah, we want to sell a house, but I can't, of course, announce it and say, hey, this boy is going through trouble, I think you guys should buy the house. I can't. So the only way you can know, as agents, we would see sometimes a house that has gone through bankruptcy, because we will see the owner, the name of the owner. So the title of the house might be RBC or Scotiabank or Substarias, and in most cases those are as foreclosed house. Also, yes, I remember, that's a good point. On Sunday, when I'm going through some of the opportunities that are available, you guys remind me if I forget, but I'm gonna make a note now as well. I'm gonna give you some of the websites where you can see houses that has been foreclosed by the city as well. I'm gonna give you those websites so that you guys can see it. Let me just make sure that I put it down in my notes. So I foreclose websites. Okay, foreclose websites, so that you guys can see that as well and have opportunities to be able to purchase it. But yes, it's a hit and miss. If you have a realtor friend, if you are signed up with real estate agents, and right now we have to get things signed up, that's even another conversation. But an agent can help. If when we are doing our search, sometimes I will see houses that have been foreclosed on. One of my clients actually bought something like that last year. The house was listed, it was probably worth about $1.5 million, and he bought it for about $200,000 less. So that was a good deal. We see that once in a while, but we don't have a way of just searching and seeing people that have distressed properties, if that makes sense, because Canada is protecting its citizens. So that's why it's very hard to know. All right, guys, thank you guys for joining. Again, I am just talking about answering your questions and answers, sharing some of my predictions for next year, and you guys are welcome to the webinar that is going to be hosted on Sunday. I am going to be talking to you guys about opportunities that are available in the market, especially if you're just starting your real estate journey, whether you're buying, selling, or investing in 2024. What are some of the opportunities that are there available for you right now, in which cities they are, what are the strategies that you should be implementing right now, and much more. Those are some of the things I'll be talking to you guys about. All right, let's see some of my predictions for next year. Let me just finish on that part. I wrote it down somewhere. Okay, so inflation. We think that I think personally inflation is not going to go down as much significantly. I think inflation will go down by the end of next year. Sorry, by the end of this year, around the last quarter of this year. And the reason is because by summer we're going to be very busy as real estate agents. There's still immigration, 500,000 people that are predicted to come, expected to come to Canada by the end of this year. So because of that, we are already having a lot of pressure in terms of rentals, and I hear it all the time. People message me all the time. If you guys have rentals, please send it to me so I can at least put it on my story. I don't personally do rentals, but I'll put it on my story, and people that are interested can go there and you guys can talk to each other, right? And I also have a WhatsApp platform where I just post rental listings so that you guys can connect to each other there as well. But a lot of people are, especially new immigrants, are having challenges getting a house to rent right now. So I still think as a result of all of that and interest rates not going down significantly, inflation will still be a little bit high. Home prices are going to go slightly up because we have a lot of demand and we can't meet our demand. So if you are planning to go into land development this year, I think that's a good strategy. That's the next logical step if you have enough funds to be able to do that. Now I tell my land developers that come to consult with me on that program, I say, you guys have to have $1 million just right there, sitting right there for all of the things that you're gonna do, especially if you plan to develop in the GTA. So that's just it. So yeah, because of that, home prices will still go slightly up, not like it was, after COVID 2021, not like that, but it will go up. I'm predicting around 3%. That's my personal take on that. Rent is gonna continue to go up slightly, and then it will stabilize. Again, because of immigration and all of that, that's why that is. So you guys can, I hope we can, okay, let me say that's all again, just so my team can help me to put it together. Economic outlook for 2024. Here are some of my predictions and some of the things that I think will happen in the world of real estate. Number one, inflation. I think inflation is going to go slightly down. The prediction or the Bank of Canada is working to bring inflation down to 2%. That's their goal. So I think by the last quarter of this year, inflation will slightly go down. However, I think interest rates is not going to go down significantly. I think they will start to lower interest rates by the second quarter of this year. That's when I think they might start to lower interest rates. In total, I think they might lower interest rates by 0.75 bips, whatever that is called, 0.75 of interest rates. Okay. Now, home prices. I do think home prices is going to go up slightly, about 3% by the end of the year. The reason is interest rates is not going to go down as much. Basis points. Thank you. Interest rates is not going to go down as much because it's going to put us back into high inflation markets, and food is expensive and all of that. But we are still expecting immigration, about 500,000 people by the end of the year, and right now we are having crisis to be able to support the number of immigrants and the number of population that we have in Canada. So I do think if you are planning to go into land development, this is a great opportunity for you to consider doing that, especially knowing that the government of Canada, the federal government, is partnering with few cities, Mississauga, Brampton, Alberta, some areas in Alberta. They are partnering up with them to be able to build more affordable housing. So if you are an investor that is looking into affordable housing this year, I think that's a good way to go. I've spoken about interest rates. It will go down by second quarter of this year. In total, it's going to go down by 0.75 basis points. Okay, rent is going to continue to go up because we're still expecting a lot more people and we can't build as fast as we need. I think we probably need about 3-4 years of just supply to be able to match up with what the demand is right now. So interest will go up slightly and then it will stabilize. That's my personal take on that. That's my personal opinion on some of the predictions. Now, there is 251 billion worth of mortgage renewals that are coming due, and I think a lot of people are going to still have challenges to be able to accommodate the new interest rates that they're going to be renewing into. So as a result of that, there's going to be opportunities in the market for first-time buyers, investors as well, to be able to manage some of these assets that the seniors or the older generation are just not able to manage because things are becoming a lot more pressured because of interest rates and all of that. So I do think there's opportunities there to be able to use OPM in buying properties and all of that. Condos, when it comes to condos will go up, but not by much, 1 to 2% by the end of the year. So there will be more sales for condos next year. Last year there was a lot of stagnation when it comes to condo. It was taking time for you to sell. So if you are planning to sell your condo, put it on the market. Continue to work with your tenants. If you have a tenant in there, don't send them out yet because it does take about 2 to 3 months to be able to sell an average condo. Towns and semis will go up about 4% this year because again those are affordable housing for people that are just entering into the market. So I believe that those are sweet spots for people that want to invest or for people that just want to step into the market and get their feet wet. Investor will slowly come back to the market is my prediction. Last year, a lot of people were they were sitting on their hands. They were just putting their money in the bank and all of that. I think by the end of this year, investors are thinking that that we are near the end of this interest rate hike. So they are starting to come back to the market. Pre-construction prices will not go down, guys. Pre-construction prices will not go down because the cost of building is still up, labor is still up, the cost of even materials are still up, they haven't come down, and it's all as a result of inflation. All right, rentals will go up in price because it's unaffordable to own and it's high, and because of the high cost of building and the high cost of interest. I already mentioned that. More affordable housing are needed for investors, so take a note and maybe go do that as a business if that's what you can do. The gap between renting and owning will increase and affordability will not change. And what I mean by that is people are still able to rent because it's cheaper to rent right now than owning. And even though interest rates might come down slowly, but prices might increase, so your monthly mortgage is still going to stay the same, and as a result affordability status will not change for most Canadians, unfortunately. And this is where I tell a lot of people, you just need to find ways to get more money, because at the end of the day, people celebrate success, right? They don't the governments, they care about, I don't know what, I'm not even gonna talk about that, but really you are in charge of your own victory, of your own life, you are in your driver's seat. So you just have to find ways to be able to afford more houses, and because prices are not going to go to 2019, to be honest, right? Like I said, prices are still going to go up. So If you haven't registered for the webinar, go ahead and do so. I will spend more time in answering questions, and I will be bringing to you guys some of the things that I would do if I was to start investing or buying properties right now, brand new. If I was to go into constructions, land development, all of that. Plus, I would also be sharing a few websites where you can get houses that are going on foreclosure and all of those things that I have seen. I will share a few strategies and answer your questions. So it's going to be a great night, and I'm going to rest a lot before that time so I can have my energy all up. Okay? Thank you, guys.